everyone. My name is Jarla Hinchcliffe and I'm the Acting Secretary for the Department of Parliamentary Services, and it is my very great pleasure to MC this morning's proceedings. To begin with, I'd like to acknowledge country. I acknowledge that where we meet today has been the meeting place of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples for thousands of years. I also acknowledge the cultures of any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Island people that are present here with us today. I know that you're busting too, so please join me in thanking again the Australian Girls Choir for such a lovely rendition of Ding Dong Merrily on High. It's just a little bit beginning to feel like Christmas, isn't it? We're going to hear some more from the Australian Girls Choir after our presentation this morning, so please stick around with us to hear them and help us get into the Christmas spirit. There will also be an opportunity to take photos in front of our gorgeous tree at the end of the event, so please stick around for that as well. So I'd like to warmly welcome you to the beginning of Christmas at Parliament House today. It is great to have you here with us. It gives me great pleasure to now welcome the Senator, the Honourable Sue Lyons, the President of the Senate, to speak to us. President.
Thanks very much, Jarla, and welcome everyone here to the launch of our 2024 Christmas tree. I acknowledge my fellow parliamentarians from the House and the Senate. Welcome here today. And what a beautiful welcome you've given us, the Australian Girls Choir. And this is a very busy day in Parliament, and it is fabulous to be at the entry of Parliament House, which really is today the People's House. There's so many people here watching and throughout the corridors, so we certainly today are the People's House. I too acknowledge that we are meeting on the lands of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I'd like you to join me too in respecting any elders that are here with us today. So lighting the Christmas tree is something that I look forward to. It's two things. It's heading towards break time for us and the holiday season, but it's also lighting up this magnificent tree which is standing behind me. So it's a very exciting time. Christmas at Parliament House features 14 wonderful school and community choirs performing throughout November and December, so make sure that you get along to listen to them, and you're launching that today, being our first choir. And we also want you to give generously to our two charities that we're funding. The other couple of things that we're doing is that anything you buy from the Parliament House gift shop will be gift wrapped, and once again our Early Childhood Centre as a fundraising is, which will also go to the charities, is producing Christmas paper, and that's available from the 25th to the 29th of November. So that would be a unique way to wrap your gifts in paper designed and coloured by our early childhood children in this building. So the charity that I'm happy to support this year is a charity called Murrup. And Murrup is the word for the spirit of the Wiradjuri people, who are the traditional owners of lands where the organisation is based in Melbourne. So it is a great honour for me to support this charity. It works in partnership with remote First Nations people to ensure that young people have the very best outcomes and opportunities through education and lifelong learning. And you will hear from Murrup later today, and if you are going to donate to them, they've got a banner over there so you can donate and have your photo taken in front of their banner. They provide opportunities for students and families and the broader community to actively engage with education. Murrup works to sustain the foundations these communities need to thrive in school and beyond. We're very excited to have Shelley Strickland, the CEO, here today, sitting there next to our speaker. And I want to welcome Shelley to tell you a little bit more about Murrup and its important work. So thank you very much.
Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land of which we gather today, the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples, and to pay my respect to elders past and present and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. I would also like to honour the traditional owner groups of our 4 communities that Murup is honoured to serve: the Mambara, Boogaman, people of Palm Island, the Wodja Wodja, Gulngu, people of Woorabinda, the Yolngu, people of Gallawinku, and the Mantle Yupi and Tiwi peoples of Woorolmanga. I would also like to extend my deepest thanks to the Honourable Sue Lyons, the Honourable Milton Dick, Jarla Hinchcliffe, and the whole team at the Department of Parliamentary Services for inviting us here today. Almost a year ago exactly, I travelled to Parliament House to meet with a number of ministerial advisors and other staff. I was advocating for our work, relaying some of the challenges of our partner communities and adding Murup's voice to the dialogue around remote communities. As a lover of Christmas, I snapped a quick selfie in front of the beautiful Parliamentary House giving tree, and I could never have imagined that 1 year later I would be standing here representing Murup as one of the 2 Parliament House charity recipients. It is truly an honour, and we are so incredibly grateful. It feels especially poignant that today is World Children's Day, an opportunity for the global community to reflect on the world our children are growing up in. This year's theme, Listen to the Future, resonates deeply for us at Murup. We know that the key to creating a world where Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children and young people thrive is self-determination. And we are committed to delivering place-based programs that are co-designed with the communities in which they are delivered and respond to the visions and aspirations of the children and young people who engage with them. And this, more important than ever. It's true that education changes lives, but it's also true that many First Nations children, particularly those in remote communities, have poorer educational outcomes than their non-Indigenous peers. There are a range of complex reasons for why this is: food and period poverty, seasonal disruptions, inadequate and inappropriate housing, family and domestic violence, avoidable yet often untreated chronic health conditions, community unrest, and poor social and emotional well-being can all impact a child's ability to get to school and thrive once they are there. At Murup, we work in 4 of Australia's most remote communities to address some of these barriers through practical and cultural-based solutions. We deliver programs that follow the life journey from baby to early adulthood and provide holistic wraparound support for children and young people and their families. This includes parental education and early literacy programs, school readiness, support and in-class mentoring, and support for key transitions such as into high school and out of school into the workforce. We also provide pro-social after-school and school holiday activities and support for community activation. We employ local staff who apply a local lens and act trusted conduits between families and the education system and other services. We are so proud of our work, and we are so proud to be one of the 2 charity recipients of the Australian Parliament House Giving Tree. We thank every single person for every single cent donated, because it all goes towards removing the barriers that stand in the way of First Nations children and young people and the future of their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President, and thank you, Ms Strickland, for those words and for the wonderful work you do in support of First Nations young people. It gives me great pleasure now to welcome the Honourable Milton Dick MP, Speaker of the House of Representatives, to address you.
Well, thanks very much, Jarla, and Merry Christmas, everyone. There is a lot of decisions to be made in the building this week as we come to the end of the year and come to an end of a parliamentary term. We're also doing the most important business today, and that is celebrating Christmas and lighting the Christmas tree. Can I also acknowledge all of the parliamentary colleagues that are here today? The members of parliament that have attended today really are the most committed parliamentarians to Christmas in the nation. Ms Di Lee, the member for Fowler, Mr Daniel Molina, the member for Fraser, Ms Libby Coker, the member for Corangamite, the Deputy Speaker, who battles for me to try and put up more Christmas trees across the building than anyone else, to Ms Tanya Lawrence, the member for Hazark, to Ms Alison Burns and Peter Khalil, the member for Wills. And to the President of the Senate, we love Christmas, but more importantly, we love supporting the charities that help people throughout the year, not just at Christmas time. So thank you for your inspirational words. This tree is beautiful and has some beautiful gum trees and beautiful decorations, but it's also a giving tree. It's a giving tree for those people who need it the most. And we've heard from one charity, and for around, since 2013 to be precise, it's raised $35,000 for charities across Australia. And the second charity that we'll be hearing from today, and one that I'm really pleased to support, is Teach for Australia. Teach for Australia are dedicated to developing leadership in classrooms and communities to ensure all children achieve their potential. And as my colleagues know, I spend a bit of time in classrooms as the speaker, and I couldn't have think of a more worthwhile charity to support at Christmas time, recognising our teachers who do so much in supporting and looking after the next generation of Australians. And for me, it's very personal with my sister being a teacher for over 38 years. So I'm so pleased that we're able to support for Teach for Australia. So Melody, let's hear a little bit about the great work that you do. And before long, we will be lighting the Christmas trees and hearing from our beautiful choir. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Madam President. I've always wanted to say that to Acting Secretary Hinchcliffe and to Shelley for the wonderful work that you do. I too want to acknowledge that we're on the land of the Ngunnawal and Ngambie, and to acknowledge that the work that MURUP does, that Shelley does, and that Teach for Australia does is ultimately about the future that our young people have, and that is ultimately about nation building. So thank you for your support of both of us. This recognition is a wonderful opportunity to highlight Teach for Australia's mission, an Australia where every child, regardless of their circumstance, can receive an education that gives them choice for their future. Yet sadly, we know that that isn't always the case. Young people in low-income, rural, regional, and remote contexts are years behind in their educational outcomes and their educational attainment, and it's not because of their innate potential, it's instead because of the access and opportunity that they receive. And we know that COVID has tripled this achievement gap, and we know that students in those contexts are 5 times more likely to have a teacher who is teaching out of their field. And this is exacerbated now by the teaching shortages that the Australian government is estimating to be over 4,000 that we now face across the country. And yet we know what a great education can do. It helps to overcome elements of disadvantage, and we need more dedicated teachers working deeply committed to equity to ensure that at all levels, in classrooms, in school leadership, and right across the system in all sectors, we have leaders committed to educational equity, and that is what Teach for Australia is about. We're about giving young people choice for their future by developing the teachers and leaders that we need today and into our future. Already, we recruit, select, train, support, and place into areas of high need over 1,800 teachers and leaders into over 300 schools, working with now to date over 650,000 students. The impact on classrooms and schools is undeniable. And just in this building, some months ago, we heard from Taylor, a Year 11 student from Cobram in regional Victoria, who shared the story of her interactions with her teacher, George, Mr. Allen, who was a former lab technician that Teach for Australia had found, brought into the teaching profession and supported, who she shared ignited her love of science, and in fact helped her understand what science even was. And now, because of his support, going above and beyond, finding camps that she could attend to continue to nurture that passion, continuing to take complex practice, understanding and practices in science and help her understand those, Taylor is now aspiring to get early entry into university so that she can study biomed and one day give back to her community as a doctor. We're committed to finding more Georges so that we can have more stories like Taylor's, but we can't do it alone. We absolutely need your support so that we can find more teachers for more schools and more students in need. The best gift that you can give any child is the gift of education. And for a child facing disadvantaged circumstances, that gift keeps on giving and can be life-changing. It was for me, it was for Taylor, it was for countless other low-income, rural, regional and remote students that Teach for Australia teachers teach and lead on a daily basis. We're so very, very grateful for this opportunity, for this recognition, and for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you, Ms Potts-Rosevere, for those words and the work that you do in developing the leadership skills of our educators. Thank you. Can I now ask the official party to take their places for the ceremonial lighting of the Christmas tree?
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I invite the media to take some photos of the presiding officers and our charity representatives and members of the choir. For members of the audience, please feel free to stay seated. There'll be an opportunity for you to take photos before the tree in a moment, and the choir will be singing again to us in just a moment.
Colleagues, come forward. Around the tree.
We've got on the checklist to plug it in.